I am
All
ready.
right.
My shoulders are good. Look at these shoulders. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Brew&A. I am saving. What is this? This is Copper Ale. Rising Tide Copper Ale. I don't know if this has copper in it. Here's the. Oh, that's a great sound, Ty. Oh, we're getting some head coming out. My name is Dan Rubenstein.
Drinking.
Ty Hildenbrand is already drinking. This is, I'm looking at the monitor instead of looking at, there's the camera. See, I had a sip and I'm already thrown off. This is the Brew&A, Ty. We don't generally have time to answer listener questions, viewer questions during our preview show, during our recap show. We do a little bit sometimes during the UFO show on Fridays, but this is where we really like to, here, fine. I'm going to pour this. I got a nice little pint glass. You notice this pint glass, Ty? You have a pint glass there? You drinking out of a pint glass?
It's funny you should say that, Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, that was close. I almost just poured some on my mic. Ooh, look at that. Slow. Nice little.
Wow.
This is how.
This is compelling video content right here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Look at that.
So, what do you say you're drinking over there?
It's a copper ale, whatever that means, as a non-beer person.
Copper ale. I am
Rising
drinking
Tide Copper Ale.
This
What do you have?
sweet nectar of the gods that you see on camera here is something called Maple Mistress. It is an imperial pumpkin ale. It is from Saucony Creek, which is a local brewery here in eastern Pennsylvania. And the alcohol content, Dan, is 9.5%.
Okay.
So we may want to hurry up and get
robust.
through these questions as much as possible, as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
before this goes to my head.
This Rising Tide is from Portland, Maine, a delightful place. I went there a couple
Wonderful.
years ago. Yeah,
Excellent.
during the little baby moon, Ty. During a
We
baby
have
moon.
so many listeners in Portland, Maine.
Yeah, well, Portland, Maine. So let's go questions, Ty. We have a bunch of questions from listeners. Let's start here because this is actually a giant talking point this week. Taylor wants to know, is the SEC going to be shaken by the air raid offense at Mississippi State? Ty, I have the SEC schedule, and it's really just the season schedule of a one Mississippi State in front of me right now. But what does your gut tell you? Was it a one-game aberration, or should SEC teams be quivering in their boots and britches about Mississippi State right now?
Can I make the pun about being shaken but not stirred?
You know what? It kind of works. This is an alcohol-themed show. I think
It kind of goes. Look, they're shaken for a week. We talked about why they had the success that they did. LSU played man coverage, Dan. They played man coverage the whole time. Typically, you beat an air raid with zone coverage. So I would assume as they get to some other defenses in the SEC, and there are many good defenses, that they will change their tune.
Yeah.
And they will not be quite as cocksure as LSU was, as Bo Pelini was about their ability to defend in space.
Yeah.
So let's give it a few weeks before we jump to conclusions. No doubt a huge win for Mississippi State, for KJ Costello, his first game. I mean, come on. Could you do any better your first game in the SEC? I don't think so. I'm very excited to see what they do in Stark Vegas, but let's wait before we jump to conclusions.
These are the defenses, these are the coordinators that Mississippi State, Mike Leach, KJ Costello will be dealing with moving forward. So Barry Odom, great defensive coordinator, Arkansas talent, not there. Might be at some point, but not there right now. Mark Stoops in Kentucky, they've played good defense recently. We'll see. Texas A&M and Mike Elko, pretty solid track record there, Ty. Alabama, of course, that goes without saying. Vanderbilt, they don't think they're going to have a ton of problems with Vandy. We'll see. Kevin Steele in Auburn. Kirby Smart in Georgia.
Wow. They play all these teams.
DJ Durkin, slow start. But who's the defensive coordinator for Georgia? I think is Dan Lanning. I think that's who it is. And then Mizzou. So it's a murderer's row of high-level defensive thinkers. We'll see about the actual players, but I still think Mississippi State they're going to be entertaining all year, but they still have their work cut out for them. Whatever they look like against LSU, as great as it was, it's just game's over. Ty, we're moving forward. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Mississippi State. If nothing else, beating the defending national champion week one of a weird season. Look, it's gravy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot to show for that hire of Mike Leach, for that transfer of KJ Costello, and I think a lot of optimism for sure down there. So I'm excited about that, but let's push the pause button a little bit on Mike Leach transforming the SEC. I need a little bit more data before I'm willing to go there.
Okay, let's go to the Big 12. I love this question because there's no fence sitting, Ty. There is no fence sitting. This comes to us from Not Chase. I assume it's Chase. I assume it's Chase. That's my spoiler. It's probably Chase. Please categorize Big 12 teams as, quote, for sure good or, quote, for sure bad.
Wow.
We only have 10 to run through. Let's do it quickly. Shoot from the gut. Shoot from, we don't have a lot of data to go by, but let's go. Texas.
Good.
For sure good. Oklahoma.
Good.
Kansas State.
Oh, man. Good. They beat Oklahoma. They got to be good.
I'm saying for sure good. And that might just be on the short but mighty back of Deuce Vaughn. Iowa State.
Good. Good. They're good.
Texas Tech.
Not good. No.
Okay. On the verge of beating for sure good Texas.
I know. Okay. This is Chase. Damn you for this question, Chase.
I love this question.
Man.
So let's go Baylor. I don't think you can fall from division runner-up to for sure bad in a year.
Good. Good. I hate Baylor this year, but good.
TCU. They beat for sure good Iowa State. Oh, excuse me. They were close. They didn't beat. I have had
good,
not very much to drink.
Good. I guess good. I don't know. Good.
Kansas.
No, not good.
No, not good. Did I hit everybody? No, I didn't. We've got Oklahoma schools in West Virginia. Oklahoma State.
Good.
For sure good. A good defense. It's going to take them to good places. West Virginia.
I'm still saying not good, but definitely better than a year ago.
No. No fence sitting. You have to say for sure good.
For sure not good.
Not good.
For sure not good.
For sure not good. Is
yelling
that everybody?
It into my microphone. Yeah.
Okay. That's everybody. I think I agree. I'm not fully sold on Iowa State. That's the fence I would sit on. That's weird phrasing, but I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you on all of those.
All right. Where are we going?
Although
next?
I might go Texas Tech for sure good. That's right.
That means that the only for sure bad team is Kansas. And
no, you said West Virginia.
I'm on the fence with them too. But all right, where are we going next?
Peter wants to know. Our dear friend Peter wants to know movie you watch whenever you come across it on television.
Wow.
Just go with your gut. Your TNTing, your TBSing, FXing, HBOing.
Yeah. Major League, any of the Major League movies.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, My Cousin Vinny.
Ooh, I like that.
Wedding Crashers, old school. Interstellar, a new inductee into this Hall of Fame.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's not a good movie. It's a good movie. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's a B+ good movie.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm trying to think of Shawshank Redemption. I think goes with that. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans is a good answer. So you're just naming a lot.
I'm naming a lot, but I can't. If you're asking me to pick one, I can't do one. I could do multiples, but there are many movies on this list and out there. I'm sure there's like 15 I forgot that if they are on the TV, it is going to drastically affect my afternoon plans.
For sure.
Let's say.
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, good one. How did I forget about that?
Catch Me If You Can. Step Brothers is on Step Brothers must do such an amazing rating because it is on. I don't actually watch that much regular TV anymore. It's just streaming stuff for me. But when I do come across Step Brothers, it could just be on Netflix or whatever. Anytime they're eating, when Dale says he manages a baseball team, it's his fantasy team. There's so much good stuff in Step Brothers. Just the efficiency, the laughing efficiency in Step Brothers is so high.
You know what? I never got into Step Brothers.
Really?
And I probably need to go back and watch more of it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just don't know it that well.
It's out of the Catalina wine mixer. It's so good. Ian wants to know, meeting the girlfriends of a little over 2 months' parents this weekend. Okay, so we're sliding in the nick of time. Any tips? He also wants to know if you plan on doing a golf podcast.
Okay.
I think you could probably do a good one with maybe Chip Patterson.
I mean, Chip Patterson is employed by CBS, so
Hello,
I don't
friends.
know if they would. Hello, friend. I don't know if they would let me do that with. I would love to do a golf podcast. I would love to do a golf podcast. I would love to involve Uncle Joe Colarusso. For the record, I actually did try to start a golf podcast with Uncle Joe Colarusso called Worst Round Ever.
You co-own a podcast network.
I do co-own a podcast. I could make this happen.
Yeah.
I would love to start a golf podcast. I don't know if golf podcasts get any downloads outside of like the really, really big ones. And I don't know what I would talk about, but
you need
I would love to tell the story to a wider audience of Uncle Joe Colarusso as a teenager in his formative years going to the local golf course and seeing a hearse drive out on the first fairway. I'd love to tell that story.
Good tease.
So maybe it'll happen. I don't know.
First part of Ian, possibly Ian's question. What are your tips? I assume you've met probably more than one girlfriend's parents over your many Lothario years, Ty. What? We're such light. Well, at least I'm a lightweight.
I'm on a learning stool. This thing can fall over, Dan.
I thought about this driving home from the grocery store today. What are your tips for meeting somebody you're dating, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, their parents for the first time?
You know, I was thinking about this. It's a lot like giving the speech at a wedding, actually.
You're not wrong. Continue.
Don't take any chances. You want to go 230, center cut down the fairway, take an iron off the tee if we're going to keep with the golf theme.
Wow.
230 off the tee, aim for the center of the green. Don't try, like, if you know a joke that you're really proud of, don't tell it.
Nope.
Don't take the risk. I guess it depends on how much you like the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if this is something that you've been trapped into, you could use that joke as a means of getting out. But assuming you like her, I'm sure she's lovely, Ian. I would probably err on the side of not telling that joke that I know you're proud of.
There's no reason to take a chance, right?
Just don't take the chance. Just smile a lot. Laugh at their jokes, but don't feel like you should be compelled to tell any of your own. That's an unnecessary risk, especially if you like her. You just want to, it's like the NCAA tournament. It's like leading round 4 of the Masters. You just want to survive in advance. So good luck to you, sir.
That was vague, but also very helpful. Just don't say anything that afterwards you're inclined to say, this guy knows what I'm talking about. None of that.
Yeah, no,
none of that.
Nothing like that, Ian.
It's essentially you're going on a triple date. You're going on a date with 3 people. So I would ask a lot of questions about them, what they do. I would ask questions. I think this is super key. Ask questions about your girlfriend as a child. What was she like? What do parents love talking about? They love talking about their children. They're so proud of their children. So lead them into a happy conversation. Be humble about your life and whatever you do. And I would also add, if it's true, don't lie, but if it's true, make note about how close you are with your parents. Come on.
Oh, that's a good one.
Come on, Ty. What's better than that? You're family focused. I think you have to stay in that very specific lane of not making it about you and turning the table on them about what they do, where they're from, what was Sheila like as a teenager? Was she crazy? Like that kind of stuff. It's great.
Important caveat though now as we turn the calendar to October.
Okay.
Important caveat, Ian, listen to me. Discipline is so important right now.
Yeah.
You got to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what, did you say Sheila?
Yeah.
We don't know what Sheila's parents are into. Don't be drawn into any kind of political discussion right now.
Don't do that.
Do not do that. Just sort of bite your lip. I don't care which side of the whatever you're on.
Right.
Bite your lip, smile and nod. If you like Sheila, Ian, survive in advance.
Yeah, I think you could be vaguely honest, where you could say something like, well, who knows?
Don't even be vaguely anything. Just bite your lip. If you can wear a mask, wear the mask to try to conceal facial expressions. But
do you hear a loud lawnmower of some kind?
this machine that you have in your neighborhood.
It always happens right at this time.
Always on Thursdays.
Bort, I really hope this is his real name. My son is also named Bort. Bort on Reddit wants to know, now that it's moving to colder weather, what is your guys' go-to alcoholic drink over beer? Whiskey or gin, perhaps? Question mark?
This is 9.5, and this is keeping me warm at the moment.
Yeah.
So, I've done the hard cider thing, like when it's warmed up. I ain't got time for that anymore, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm just
he's not asking for a fall or winter drink per se.
I know.
Is there a cocktail?
No. As we get a little closer to the winter season, I'm going to start rolling out the Christmas beers. Like, some people are really into pumpkin, and I know I've done the Dogfish thing 2 weeks in a row, and now Maple Mistress is kind of a fall or Imperial pumpkin. As we get into Christmas-y seasons, and as we get into November, and different breweries start rolling out the Christmas beer, you could find some Christmas beers, especially Eastern Pennsylvania Christmas beers. They will warm the cockles of your heart.
So this is peppermint over pumpkin is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
I don't drink a lot, but when I do imbibe, when I do have a cocktail, taking tequila to replacing rum with tequila or vodka with tequila. So like a Mexican mule tie, a little ginger beer, lime, simple syrup, Mexican mule. Love the copper mule cup. That's great.
For
Mexican
those
mojito.
For those of us who had an experience in college with tequila, I am emphatically distancing myself from that comment.
But see, I'm guessing, you were doing shots of tequila.
Shots of cheap tequila.
Yeah, I'm saying sip. Yeah. Sip some smooth tequila in a cocktail.
Okay.
I think you can have a marvelous time.
I'm open to it.
This one is a fascinating question. It puts us on the spot. This is sort of college football. This comes to us from Clean Jeb Boy on Reddit.
Clean? Okay.
Clean Jeb Boy. I was wondering, is there a loss by your team that you remember fondly? Is there a loss? I think he was a Tulane fan and had a memorable loss that they acquitted themselves really well. Now, obviously, this, it's relative to who you root for, because if you root for a superpower in college football, any loss is a nightmare. But to you, what is a memorable loss that you look back at fondly?
Well, it's sort of an ironic fondly, Dan. It's odd construction, I know. But there are two Notre Dame losses in particular that I remember. Not fondly because I was proud of the way they acquitted themselves.
Right.
But I look back fondly after many years, looking back at my own behavior, and sort of chuckle. So there are two games in particular. There was, I forget exactly what year it was, but there was a game when Brady Quinn was playing quarterback for Notre Dame, and they lost, I want to say, first game of the year against BYU. And when they lost that game, when it became official that they lost, I was at the Rathskeller at Penn State, sort of a dingy dive bar.
Okay, so this is a good loss experience.
No, it wasn't that great of an experience, because when they lost, I had one of those old LG flip phones.
You've told this story, yeah.
And I jumped up as high as I could, and I slammed it down. I spiked it like I was Rob Gronkowski in the middle of the Rathskeller, and everyone distanced from me. I'm not a big guy. But I remember that fondly because friends still talk about it fondly as like a formative moment in their college careers. Needed to get a new phone the next day, but I definitely, I was able to kind of expel all the frustration after the loss there.
I like that answer. I like that answer a good amount because you're never going to forget it.
I'll never forget. The other thing was I was up at Penn State. We were up for a Penn State game. I think it was the week that Notre Dame lost to Tate Forcier in Michigan. And I remember, this is before I had more control of my emotions, I was in the middle of a friend's parents' living room pounding on the floor after they lost that game. So, anyway, enough about me. I'm probably sharing too much. But
I love that. No.
Do you have any?
I don't have a loss in which Oregon acquitted itself in impressive fashion in a loss. That is always very difficult for me. But I think it was 2015. Yeah, it was 2015. Vernon Adams was the starting quarterback for Oregon. He hurt his hand, tried to come back against Utah. They just got run roughshod out of Autzen Stadium by the Utah Utes. And there's something that's at least, I can be at peace if you just get your ass kicked from the start. Yeah, it's when you're ugly all game, but you're sort of in it, you're sort of not in it. There's something, I think Jeff Locke came in and just clearly wasn't the answer. There's something about just a good ass kicking where you're just like, yep, wasn't our night. Nope, not gonna. And I just remember like slinking back in my couch thinking, they're just kicking Oregon's ass. And that's fine. That happens. It was a little bit humbling, but it was good that it wasn't like kind of close at halftime. It was like Oregon's worst loss in 30 years. It was just like, okay, there's no suspense here. I'm good with this. There's no doubt to it. So I kind of, in a weird way, I look back fondly at that sort of instant closure to a game. Does that make sense?
To circle back to Peter's question about movies that to quote my cousin Vinny, I could use a good ass kicking. He says it right there. I could use a good ass kicking. So every now and again, just a nice palate cleansing ass kicking can go a long way.
Yeah. Evens you out. Spandrew, I think we already know the answer to this. What's your level of buy-in on pumpkin-flavored seasonal products? You're fully in. You've talked about your love of pumpkin pie.
No, I did.
Pumpkin pie? But that's not seasonal. I guess that's just a thing, right?
No, I'm not. I think people get a little too, like, we're talking about beer. People are into pumpkin.
Yeah.
Which is a pumpkin. Dude, don't drink the pumpkin. That's like drinking out of a jack-o'-lantern. Don't do that. But if it's done tastefully,
okay,
I'm okay with the pumpkin seasoning. I do think on social media people get a little bit over the top with their pumpkin stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little much for me. I'm not going to lie, but if it's done well, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Somebody asked about the best tacos in the San Fernando Valley. I guess I'll let you take that.
There's so many. Del Toro is very good.
Del Taco. There is Los Toros, which is a pretty good sit-down place in Chatsworth.
Del Toro is where Will Smith went in Independence Day.
That's true.
A little bit off.
I'm not there, and I don't live there, and I haven't lived there in a long time, so my answer is not going to be good. I remember Henry's Tacos, if you like a very like gringo style taco, very fondly, like hard shell style tacos. What
about the Kogi tacos that you?
Yeah, Kogi's very good, and they have a truck in the San Fernando Valley. I looked it up. Tacos El Chave looks very good. That's more of a street taco and looks fantastic.
All right.
I think that's. I don't know if there's anything else. Do you have any Mean Girls thoughts? Is that a chick flick? Coach Dougie Doug wants to know.
I think, there are some movies that kind of qualify as both. Like they could be a chick flick. It's kind of like an Inkblot test a little bit.
What's the opposite of a chick flick? A dick flick? What is it, Ty?
I mean, Money Plane, probably.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
But no, I'm okay with Mean Girls. I'm fine with Mean Girls.
What's for dinner? That's my final question.
I think we're doing microwave pizza tonight. I think we're doing microwave pizza. I could smell it actually wafting up here as
smell of sadness.
Smell of sadness.
I'm baking pizza, so at least we're having sort of the same meal. I'm ready for it. My dough babies are ready.
How long have you been baking this homemade version?
Baking? I mean, the dough has been sitting for 72 hours in the fridge.
Do you have like a designated corner of the fridge?
It's on the bottom. It's on like a bottom shelf. I wouldn't say it's designated. I go in there and I burp. I burp the quart containers every so often because the gas builds up. Is that a detail you were interested in, Ty?
Yes, but I might have to look up on YouTube what that looks like. But it's not like a baby where you throw it over your shoulder kind of thing. Right?
Correct. It's correct. Okay, Ty, I'm going to drink out of this very attractive mug, pint glass. Ooh, look at that. Just an icy beer out of this delightful pint glass. And then I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet subscribed. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet subscribed. We do 3 shows a week, audio-wise, and we do a bunch of video right here on youtube.com/thesolidverbal. So it'd be great if you subscribed. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's very easy to find us wherever your internet journey takes you. So, Ty, thanks for joining me, and listen to the preview show, listen to the UFO show. We're thrilled to partner with our new good friends at Learfield IMG College. We announced that earlier on in the week. So just a ton is happening, and even more than you already know is happening. So
there is a lot of bubble wrap, let's say, that needs to be removed.
Correct.
And we are excited to remove those layers of bubble wrap here in the next few weeks.
All right, that's all I have. See you soon, Ty.
Take care.